Craziness, Corey.
Mike, we have got 22 cars in this one, 25 laps. That's not a lot of time to work with here when you're in a field that's stacked the way this one is. It is go time right here. We are getting to the closing portion here of the Budweiser Nationals at Bakersfield, California. And I'm telling you right now, this race, hang on, it's about to go down.
Yeah, it's, the temperature outside is going down, but the heat on the track is going to get real hot in a hurry. And, it's going to boil over. There's going to be a few tempers here because we know a lot of people what they want. What they want is that blue Bud Light guitar.
Well, that's what they're here for, the guitar and the money. We're going to take you through the lineup right now for your IMCA Sport Mod A main event on the inside of row number 1, driving the number 18C out of Bakersfield. That is Chris McKellar, and lining up to his outside, the man looking to sweep the weekend, and all kinds of stuff going on here, the number 74 of Ethan Dotson.
And everybody else behind him's got their hands full now, but in row number 2, it's going to be Gavin Manning in the 51G and the Bakersfield Bullet of Nick Spainhauer.
In row 3, we have the number 83 of Jason Nation, and lining up outside of him from Bakersfield, the number 16, Ricky Childress Jr.
Row number 4's got the 68S, Billy the Kid Simpkins, and Austin Manzella in the 04M.
Driving the number 20S, that is Kevin Johnson, and lining up next to him in the 4, Garrick Jernigan.
Row number 6 has got Michael Johnson in the 22C machine, and the 5B from Clovis, Jason Pugh.
In the number 21, that is Kyle Wood out of Bakersfield. And driving the 32, we watched her win one of the B features, Tina Pounds, a former champion here at the Budweiser Nationals.
Row number 8's got the young man, 14-year-old Tyler Blankenship in the 17B, and Brian Carey in the 55C.
Then we find the number M13 of Matthew Mayo Jr. out of Bakersfield. And to his outside, Matt Mayo in the 13.
That's a whole lot of mayo in the middle of this sandwich. Then we've got row number 10, Corey Hemphill in the 198K, and the 3 from Orchid, Dylan Potter.
In row number 11, the back row, we find the number 20 of Justin McPherson from San Martin, California. And to his outside in the 70, barely made the show, but he got in. That's the 70 of John McKinley Sr. from right here in Bakersfield, California.
We were talking if Dylan Potter was going to be able to make the show. I don't see him out here in the 3.
And it's unfortunate.
Definitely unfortunately
because
for that young man.
You got to get up to get down. That's how you get the guitars here at Bakersfield. These guys here are set to turn it loose. Race fans, are you ready for your Sport Mod A main event? This is it, night number 2 from the Budweiser Nationals. We've got a green flag.
McKellar on the inside, Ethan Dotson on the outside. Ethan Dotson hitting the hammer. Slingshot on the high side. He goes into 3 and 4. Who's going to lead lap number 1? It's going to be the man from Incognito, McKellar, leading lap 1.
Chris McKellar has been so close all weekend long, finds himself on the point, trying to keep it from the 74 of Ethan Dotson. Dotson down low in the groove. Trouble in turn number 2. And the caution is out. Caution will fly. A couple of cars down there. That is the 21 of Kyle Wood, unfortunately, here on lap number 1.
And we also got the 13 of Mayo, who was slow all the way across the front stretch. That car just did not want to get up and go.
That's what I was going to say. It looked like a flat front tire the way that car was bouncing, the way it was riding rough. That is unfortunate for Mayo because that's another really fast race car here at the Budweiser Nationals. We'll see if he can get it out there in the hot pit and get that thing changed, get back out and start scratch on the field.
He goes up and out of the racing surface, so they're going to go take a look at that car, tend to it, hopefully get that thing back together so we can get back out on the track.
1 down. We're going 25 laps, 24 remaining. McKellar is your leader. Dotson sits second. 2 of the fastest cars in this division all weekend long. McKellar's close. You got a lot of work holding that 74 of Dotson behind you.
Yeah, it's one thing to lead lap number 1. It's another thing to lead lap number 25.
And that's what it's all about right here. But McKellar, I mean, don't be surprised if he pulls this thing off. That race car has been really good all weekend long, but we've seen what Dotson has done. And you look all the way through the field, there isn't a driver in this thing that truly can pull this thing off. It just takes a little bit of luck.
We had our talk 2 days ago about the Budweiser Nationals. We mentioned a whole bunch of people. They are currently, everyone that we mentioned is top 10 right now. And that just shows you that the cream does rise to the top here at Bakersfield Speedway at the Budweiser Nationals.
It's heavy cream, too, I'll tell you that.
You ain't joking here.
So as they come across the stripe here under caution, your leader is Chris McKellar in the 18. Ethan Dotson runs second. Then it's the 51G, Brian Clark. Gavin Manning. Sorry.
Yeah.
Gavin Manning sits third. Your fourth place car is the 40 of Nick Spain-Howard. And right behind him is the 83 of Jason Nation.
And you've got Ricky Childress, Billy Simpkins, Garrett Jernigan.
I believe that's Austin. Is that Austin Manzella outside of him?
I believe it is Austin Manziel in the 04 machine.
We have talked about every one of these drivers. We've talked about possibly winning this.
Kevin Johnson as well. Then that is Austin. So then the 5 of Pugh.
Michael Johnson, Tina Pounds.
It's like the who's who of sport mod racing right now.
It absolutely is. It absolutely is. And man.
Now the one thing I want to see, Corey, for the 35th annual.
Back on the track, Matt Mayo got that right front tire fixed. He's going to tag the back of the field.
The 35th annual. I want to see more cars from the PNW in the sport mod. I know you guys have started, pushing the sport mod division a little more where you're at, and I'd love to see those guys come down and run as well.
Sport mods in the Pacific Northwest right now are the fastest growing division. It is a incredibly competitive division, much like you have here in California. It has just exploded the last 2-3 years, and there's guys getting rid of late models, jumping over to modifieds and sport mods, and just huge talent.
Yeah, and I really, like I said, I really hope that your guys come down. Can you imagine having 45 of these things?
It's a possibility.
It's definitely a possibility of the way this class is growing.
We're going racing one more time at a turn 4. McKellar will lead the field to the green flag. Look at Gavin Manning way up on the top side of the racetrack, the right rear up against the cushion, taking a run at Ethan Dotson. Dotson down low into turn 3. Gavin Manning on the high side out of turn 4. He is right there door to door with Dotson and Spain-Howard in tow.
Ethan Dotson going back down to the gutter, following McKellar. Gavin Manning right in his own route. Crisscross, thread the needle inside, trying to get to Ethan Dotson. Gets right to the back bumper as they set up for turn 3.
That is something we haven't seen Dotson do all weekend long, from the bottom to the top on the exit. That's going to open up the hole for Manning on the bottom. Going to go drag racing down the backstretch, door to door into turn 3. Dotson tries to slam it one more time, fades to the top out of turn number 4, opens up the hole in the bottom. Here comes Manning at the stripe. It is Dotson by inches for the number 2 spot.
Ethan Dotson trying to find something on the high side. Gavin Manning tried to slide up to him. Didn't get there. Opens the door for Bakersfield. We got 2 around, Kyle Wood and McKinley right in front of us here at the start-finish line as the leaders come in, and they're coming in hot.
What a race for second between Gavin Manning and the 74 of Dotson. Dotson with all the momentum around the top of the right rear on the cushion. Manning down low with the shorter way around. We've got some that's pretty even racing right there.
Yeah, and then you got Nick Spain-Howard right behind him waiting to capitalize on any mistakes from either one of those drivers.
Good luck with a mistake from those guys. You're talking about some talent.
Sometimes it's not necessarily a mistake, but it's a must-take.
Well, you have to.
Because sometimes you just must take some spot from them, and you must move them out the way and dive into stuff, and it happens.
We're on lap 4. I don't think they're ready to make those kind of moves yet, but watch for something like that in the late stages if this continues. Unbelievable race already here in the first 4 laps. I'll tell you right now, Chris McKellar has got things figured out. He had nearly a half a straightaway on these guys when the caution came out.
Yeah, and that was in just a few laps. He was able to stretch it out quite a bit. It did help that Gavin Manning and Ethan Dotson were trading sliders there, because if they're sliding up and down, they're not going forward.
Well, I mentioned it before the race started. He's one of those guys that have been fast. He's been very close all weekend long. You watch the adjustments. Every time that car comes out, it's been faster and faster, and the handling has been better and better. And right now, he finds himself on the point, clearly the fastest car on the track as of now.
Yep, and they've been checking in on each other. That team has definitely been making the right adjustments at the right time in those cars. Some of these guys, they make adjustments hoping that the track comes to them. These guys have definitely been making the right adjustments to get that car to come to the track. So right now, Chris McKellar, Ethan Dotson, Gavin Manning, Nick Spainhauer, Jason Nation, Ricky Childress, Garrett Jernigan, Michael Johnson, Austin Manzella, Kevin Johnson, Billy Simpkins, Tina Pounds. Wow.
All the way back.
Yeah.
Kyle Wood, that's his second caution he's been involved with here. Not called on him, but been involved with.
Right.
He had some luck, bad luck there in the lap 1 or 2. Finds himself deep in the field against one of the most stacked sport mod features I have ever looked at.
Yeah, you know it's a stacked feature when Tina Pounds, who's running solid, is 12th.
Had to race her way in from a B main.
Had to race from a B main. Well, you know it's stacked when Bobby Hogue doesn't make an A main in his class.
John and I were talking about that, and both of us were just in complete disbelief.
I think my jaw hit the floor.
I believe everybody here is in complete disbelief. Okay, we're going to go green next time out of turn number 4. Your leader is Chris McKellar in the 18C. See, this is where I get confused, too. Up in Oregon, we call it a California restart. Come to California, you guys call it a Delaware. You go to Delaware, they call it a Texas. Let's make up our minds on this, huh?
Nobody wants to claim this thing.
Regardless, it's all the same. We're going to put the leader on the point. We stack them up 2 by 2 behind him. We're going to go green this time out of turn 4. Chris McKellar will set the pace and bring us to the green. Here we go. Early start on the entry at turn 3.
Yeah, well, that was the thing that during the meeting, Jimmy Irwin said, as soon as the leader cracks them tires, he could throw the green and it's game on.
McKellar down low in the groove. He's got Dotson all over the backside of him out of turn number 4. Single file into turn 1. Dotson right back to the top of the racetrack with McKellar down in the gutter. And McKellar has really found something in that low groove. He pulls away from Dotson out of 2 down the back straightaway, eases it around turns 3 and 4. Dotson, all the momentum on the top side of the racetrack, just can't quite get to the outside of the 18.
2 distinct lines right now, one on the bottom, one on the top side, and 1st, 3rd, and 5th are in the gutter. 2nd, 4th, and 6th are all on the high side.
Okay, Dotson may have found something. He is really all over the backside of the 18. Momentum versus distance. And right now, momentum looks like it's going to win as they go door to door down the backstretch on the entry at turn 3. It is Dotson on the high side. McKellar down low. He is committed to the low groove, and it's going to cost him as the new leader, 74, Ethan Dotson at the stripe.
Definitely pot committed to that gutter is the 18C. Ethan Dotson able to take advantage of that when he found that high side and moves up to the point.
Nick Spainhauer now sits 3rd, and he goes to work on McKellar, trying to open up the hole in the bottom into turn number 1. McKellar now goes to the top side through turns 1 and 2. Spainhauer down low in the gutter. It looks like he's going to take the 2nd spot away from McKellar into turn number 3. McKellar sees what Dotson's doing on the high side, trying to follow suit, and it may cost him another spot.
Not yet. It hasn't cost him a spot, but it's definitely showing him something else as he's able to get onto that high side, and it's still a drag race across the backstretch for 2nd.
Best race on the track right now for the 2nd position. McKellar's using that upper groove that Dotson has been working to perfection. Now, Spainhauer jumps up there as well behind McKellar. He says, okay, I see what you're doing. I'll try it as well. The only guy in the bottom right now is the 16 of Childress. And right behind him is the 22, Michael Johnson on the bottom.
Michael Johnson loves to start on the bottom, does some work down there, and he is not afraid to throw a slider from entrance of turn 1 and go all the way to the exit of 2.
Well, Childress is starting to move through the field in that low groove as he's racing the 40 of Spainhauer for position, the number 3 position, in fact, and he is looking very good down in the gutter while Spainhauer still trying to figure out the top side. Good race as they go side by side into turn 3.
Halfway down as your leader's getting ready to go. Lap number 14 in the books for Ethan Dotson. Top 3 guys go to the top. Then you got Ricky Childress on the gutter and Michael Johnson right back behind.